What up? Winbush here, and today we're going to take a look at the new generative AI tools that came out in Photoshop just this morning. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So when you first open up Photoshop, this is going to be the first thing that you see. It says generative fill, and it's currently in beta, but it's not going to be in the version of Photoshop that you're used to. You actually have to download the beta version of Photoshop to be able to get to these tools. So with your Creative Cloud opened up, you would have to go over to where it says beta and apps in the lower left hand corner, and from here you can install all the different beta applications for Photoshop, Illustrator, After Effects, etc. So if you scroll down, you'll see everything that has the beta that you can install today, but we're going to install the Photoshop one, which is listed right here at the top. And once you have everything installed, this is going to be the Photoshop version that has the beta, in which if you look in the top left hand corner, you can see it has like this grid paper behind here. But let me start off with an image of some people so I can show you how we can cut some stuff out. Now here's an image that we recently took right here inside of Denver, Colorado. You have EJ, aka Eyedesyn, myself, and Chris Schmidt, aka Rocket Lasso. We're standing here in front of the Grand Central Station. So if you look down here at the bottom, you can see it says select subject. All you do is click this and this should automatically recognize us right there, in which it does, and you can see the dancing ant lines around us. And then all you have to do is click this button right here and it will actually mask us out. Now if I drag over my path, you can see right here we actually have a mask, and so just as you would do before, like if you hit the B button on your keyboard, you can actually come through and paint some of this stuff out. So if it's black down here in the lower left hand, that's going to paint it out, and if you have it on white, if you just hit the X button, it's actually going to invert it. You can actually start painting some stuff in like so. So that's one of the new tools that we have here, and if you actually hold down Control, click the mask again, that's actually going to bring up the mask here, and you're going to see that it brings up this little palette here that says generative fill. Now I wanted generative fill the background, not us right here, so I'm just going to click on like a marquee tool, and if I right click, you can actually come down and select inverse, and now this means it's going to fill in the background that we have here and not the characters. So if I hit generative fill, you can see now we have a box pop up that's similar to Adobe Firefly, where you would just type in your text and it's going to make that background. So let's just say in front of temple. Actually, let's do in front of Mayan temple, and let's see what it comes up with. So once you're done typing it in, you're just going to click on generate and wait for this to load up. And there you go. So you see it's in front of a Mayan temple right here. But the cool thing is it doesn't just give us this, it gives us some options as well. So if you look down here, we actually have some arrow keys, or if I look over here on my right hand side under properties, you can see we have variations as well. So if I click on this, it's doing the same thing as these arrows, but it's just giving us a variety down here. Click again, and we have some more variety right here. And again, you have the mask and everything in here if you need to do any type of cleanup in there. Now I did find the example of when the character actually doesn't work when you select it out, in which I went hiking with my dog Dookie, and I actually have a good photo of him. So we're going to bring him into Photoshop and see how we can actually select him out. So right here we have a good hiking picture of my dog Dookie right here. And if I click on select subject, you can see that's actually not going to select all of them right here, just maybe his head part. For some reason, maybe it's because of the depth of field, it's getting confused here. So I'm actually just going to hit Control D, and we're going to actually select this out a different way. So if I come up here to where it says select the mask, you want to make sure that you have your marquee tool selected, and then you select the mask up here at the top. And now you can see everything went transparent. So if I come through and just left click and start selecting, you can see everything is becoming more opaque in here. Let me just keep going through. So maybe select right down here. You can see everything starting to pop in. And let's say that there's places that you don't want to have it selected. Like I could tell right here, it has this little grass patch selected. So if I hold down the Alt key and just left click and drag, then it starts to deselect that area as well. So once you're happy with your selection, actually I see a little patch right here, right by his collar. Hold down the Alt key, left click, and you can see everything starting to go transparent again. So wherever you have like these transparent grid, that means it's not selected, and wherever it comes in full, that means it's selected. So if I come down here and click OK in the bottom right, now you can see it made a mask for my dog here, and he's the only one selected in here. Now if I hold down the Control key and select this mask, now we have him selected here. And then if I right click, select invert, now we're just going to bring in the background with the generative fill. So let me just click on this and just say maybe on a cliff overlooking a waterfall, and then I'm going to click generate. And there we go. So actually that doesn't look half bad there. It actually looks like he's in the picture there. Of course, with the mask, you can always blend it in, give it a little bit more tender love and care in there. Let's see what other varieties we have. So I'm actually going to move my layers palette over here, just out of the way on my second monitor. So that one looks pretty cool too. Let me see what this third variety has. I actually like that one right there. This one actually looks pretty good here. So what I'm going to do is actually right here where it says adjustments, we actually have some preset adjustments that we can put on here as well. So if you look right here, it says sunrise. Let's click on this and it actually changed the color scope of our project here. So if I hit Control Z, you can see we go back. Maybe let's pick something a little bit more apparent like this one right here, cross photo. You can see it's putting an adjustment layer on top. So you can see exactly what it's doing. And if you actually just hover over it and not click it, you can actually get an idea of how it's going to implement it on there. So if I come down here to cinematic, just dragging over, actually that black and white one looked really cool. So that one actually looked pretty cool. I like that one right there. Let me come back here, split tones. So there's a whole variety of different adjustments that we have in here that you can actually use to blend this in. So that's just my first look at the new generative tools that were added into Adobe Photoshop this morning. I still think it has a ways to go, but it's actually pretty good. I know some of the prompts I was messing around with this morning were kind of out of whack there. So I think it's just going to take some practice and actually getting what you want in there. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe. Of course, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you're coming up with your prompts. And until next time, stay fresh, keep creating, and I'll catch you in the next video. I'll see you soon. Take care.